So one of the ripple effects of President Biden no longer running for office is it's open season on Hunter. Case in point, Hunter Biden reportedly asked the U.S. Embassy in Italy, this is paperwork we've been waiting for help landing a deal with Burisma of Ukraine while his dad was VP. The New York Times finally reporting this, quote, records indicate that Hunter Biden wrote at least one letter to the U.S. ambassador in Italy in 2016 seeking assistance for the Ukrainian gas company where he was a board member. But in 2019, then candidate Biden swore he knew nothing about his son's overseas business dealings.
I did not know he was on the board of that company.
I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters. I never discussed a single thing with my son about anything having to do with Ukraine.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
Abby Lowe came out and said no meeting actually occurred, no project materialized, no request for anything in the U.S. was ever sought, only an introduction.
So
nice spin.
Hunter's lawyer tells the Times that the meeting never happened. Now, right. And the White House says that President Biden did not know about his son reaching out to the embassy.
Clueless, huh?
Who appoints these ambassadors?
Well,
it would be Barack Obama and Joe Biden, their administration.
Here's the thing. These documents have this letter, which, by the way, when the New York Times got it, it was completely redacted. It was just completely blacked out. When the New York Times got this so happened to be right after Joe Biden had dropped out.
Coincidence.
Apparently, it had been withheld by the Biden administration for years until the New York Times did a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, and they wouldn't give it, and then the New York Times sued. So the New York Times has been working on that, and that's how we wound up with this particular damning document. The Department of State, which has been holding on to it, says the timing is coincidental, which seems kind of fishy.
Now, was this, which ambassador, was this the Italian ambassador to the United States, or was this our ambassador that was sent there to live in
Our
Italy?
ambassador.
Our ambassador.
So his dad's friend, or Barack Obama's
Well, his
friend.
colleague,
Right.
at best.
And you see some of the communication, just like we're saying now, like, should we be doing this? They go back and forth. I don't think we should be given this information. They should. Is this in our best interest? Just like we saw the text messages for Barack Obama's administration. Why is Joe Biden's son on the board of Burisma when part of his portfolio is Ukraine?
Well, at the very beginning, the Obama administration, the White House counsel office, had warned Joe Biden that this is not, they shouldn't be doing this. This is not something
But he knew
should be
nothing
doing.
about it.
But by the way, the fact that they're openly saying, oh, it was just a coincidence that they decided to turn over the documents right after Joe Biden was no longer on the ticket, when there could be no political pressure on him anymore. And you guys believe that, New York Times? You really believe that it was only a coincidence?
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, Brian, to your point about the embassy staff, them going, I don't know if we can help him. We don't want to do that. It wasn't because they don't help businesses all the time. They probably do help grease the skids and stuff like that. The problem was the fact that Joe Biden was the vice president at the time. And it's like, this doesn't look
I don't want
good.
to
We
hear
shouldn't be helping
anything
them.
else about the Trump kids. They were in business before they even got into the administration. And if there was even a shred of evidence like this, there would be calls for investigations and all of that. He had no real business. He used his dad to curry favor. Can you, as an average day businessman, just call an ambassador and get them to help you out? Everybody knows it was only because his dad was the vice president.
That actually eliminates you from doing it if your dad's vice president, because it looks like dual use.
Well, hats off to the New York Times for getting the story. They sued for a while to get it, and now we know. But Joe's not running, so.
See, Carl, if you didn't work here, you could use our names to get yourself good tables and things. But now it's a conflict of interest.
I was thinking Brian would say, well, Carly's dad's not the vice president.
No, that would have been better.
Oh, it's like playing a game of chess.
You're practicing
You're practicing my awkward tosses.
To help you out.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.